Hi, I'm going to share a little technique that I've kind of found out, and I'm really digging on it. Basically, it's an arpeggiator thing. I built a little arpeggiator rack, and this is it right here. It's got a number of things in it. It's got the arpeggiator itself, and it shows you the parameters that you can change in the arpeggiator. It's got a note length, a pitch, a random, a scale, a velocity, and a chord. For now, I'm going to keep all this stuff off and just go with the arpeggiator. And I'm going to show you this technique. So basically what you do is you create a MIDI track for your arpeggiator. You can just use the standard Ableton arpeggiator if you want. And then create another MIDI track with the sound of your choice. And don't worry, because we're going to add sounds and change sounds and all that kind of good stuff, because what we're going to essentially do is record one sequence in here, and then we're going to copy and paste it across the board here to all of these other sounds we're going to create, and we're going to change up timing and whatever else you'd care to do, and it makes for some really interesting and fascinating sounds. I've got a koto sound to begin with, and what I'm going to do is with my arpeggiator, I've got it set up to where I'm going to hold. I'm in a down and up, and I've got these things mapped to my APC 40. So I'm going to be sitting here twirling knobs, and you'll hear how that affects the arpeggiation. Now, don't be concerned if it sounds a little bit raw and maybe not so attractive, because once you start adding other things in at different timings, like halves and doubles, it's gonna just, well, you'll hear. This channel will be generating the MIDI. This channel will be accepting the MIDI, and this is where we'll record. As you can see, we're recording armed, and I'm going to go ahead and start the process. I'm just playing a chord on the keyboard. And then I'll go back to the other track where the arpeggiator controls are. We'll zoom in here, give you a better idea of what's going on. And I'll just start twiddling around with these knobs. Now I'm not going to point out everything individually, but just watch the knobs and watch over here. It should be large enough for you to see without problem. Okay, so we're recording right now, so that's all going on. And I will go ahead and change the style. Now we're on random. Up and down for a while here. Now we're at a sync rate of 112, and I'm going to go ahead and play around with that a little bit. I wish we had a smooth transition there, but it's pretty abrupt. But that's all right. When you get all this other stuff going on, you'll never really notice that. Okay. every once in a while I'm going to hold down my sustain pedal and it makes a really interesting sound. I'm going to switch to a minor key here. We'll let that run for a little while. Okay, so we're back, and as you can see, I've added a number of tracks. And what I did is I took the original, let me scroll over to it. I took the original MIDI sequence that I created with the Arpeggiator. And as you can see, that's a little different than the other one was, and that'll show you the technique I'm using. There's another MIDI track, and it's different from the first one. See that? That's because I changed down in here. You can divide by 2, multiply by 2, and you can go up and down as much as you want by 2. And all of those against each other's timing creates very, very interesting material. I did a recording of this scene. I just hit the go button, and then I mixed these tracks in and out. And I'll show you how that turned out in the arrangement view. Okay, so here's the arrangement view with all the tracks. And as you can see, there's all these little lines that indicate there's automation going on. You can see things are going up and then they're coming down. And I mixed those things in and out so that there would be some sort of coherency. Obviously you don't want 37 channels going at once that are against each other.